if you want to put a silencer or suppressor or whatever you want to call it on your rifle, and who wouldn't, to make shooting more quiet and enjoyable for yourself and those around you, it's really important to make sure you check the alignment of said suppressor with the barrel of your rifle so you can avoid any potentially dangerous baffle strikes or basically the bullet hitting anything on its way out. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you about a really low-cost but very effective way I learned to do that from the folks at OSS Suppressors. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So as I said, we're going to talk about suppressor alignment today. Real quickly, as a little bit of background, the reason that's important is because you don't want the bullet, you're adding, if you got a rifle, you're adding another, well, I don't know, so many inches, maybe 6-7 inches to the end of it, and you don't want the bullet hitting anything on the way out. So basically the pathway through this tube is just slightly larger than the bullet. And the goal is that the gases that are pushing out ahead, it just messes with those gases and redistributes those gases and keeps them from making so much noise. And just to be clear, it still sounds like a gunshot, but literally I can shoot this with a suppressor on it without wearing hearing protection, and I don't get that ringing in my ears. So it's a lot safer. So anyway, having said that, you want to make sure that the bullet goes straight through here and doesn't touch anything, because if it does, it could be potentially dangerous and it'll certainly throw off your accuracy. And the reason I know that is because when I was going elk hunting, it's a little bit of background here. I decided I took this can, which this is an OSS, this is a HX-QD 762 Ti can. So it's a 762 caliber, 308 caliber. I had this on my 5.56 that I took, AR that I took to Thunder Ranch. Performed flawlessly, absolutely flawlessly, and it was nice and quiet, quieter than it would have been without it. So that was good. So anyway, I took it off. I was going elk hunting last Thanksgiving. Thought I would put it on my 308, and maybe that would keep me from, if I did get a chance to shoot an elk, I wouldn't be ringing in my ears for 2 weeks. So I took it to the range. I put the QD adapter on. Let me just show you that real quick. I'm gonna try to get my autofocus to work because I'm messing with the new autofocus here. Okay, I think it's focused now, and you can see this is just a QD adapter, and the way that works is it's got these big threads back here. This screws onto the barrel, and then the suppressor screws onto here. So that allows you to put, if you can buy one suppressor and buy several of these adapters and put them on different rifles. So I have one on my AR and one on here. Anyway, just a little extra knowledge there. What I didn't do was check the alignment, and I think I had some spacers in here, and I didn't have something right, because at 25 yards, I was trying to sight in a new scope. I was all over the thing. At 25 yards, like I could not get it zeroed in. And I messed with it until I finally decided, oh, wait a minute, let's take the suppressor off and see if it does fine. And it did fine. It was shooting groups like this at 100 yards. So something was up with the suppressor. I sent it back to OSS. I called them, sent it back to them, and the adapter. They checked it out on their rifles. They were shooting like literally, 3 shots in one hole at 100 yards. So I had something wrong. I think maybe, in hindsight, I probably didn't have this thing tight enough, because it might have loosened up and shook just a little bit. Either way, I have got it tight now. I put it on there. It's really, really tight, and This thing was screwed on like that. So, but what I didn't do, and everybody recommended that I do, is check the alignment. And there's people that make tools. I know Geisley makes a $80 or $90 tool. It's very well machined steel. But I talked to the guys at OSS at SHOT Show, and one of the guys I talked to, he said, here's what he uses. He uses a carbon arrow. He said it's really, really straight. He's had some issues with some of the metal ones that just didn't come out. They were a little warped or something. So basically, he uses a carbon arrow, and this is a 7.62 caliber. This arrow is 7.5 millimeters. So it's just a little bit smaller. So what the goal would be to put this in here and then check the circumference and make sure that it's straight. So all I did was I put the suppressor on now, just drop this in nice and gently all the way down into the barrel. and then it's against the bolt now. And basically, you just look at it, and I'm just going to show you that. If I can get it, my autofocus to work, I'm going to show you that. So if you can look around it, let's see if I can. This autofocus is a pain in the neck, but let's see. We can focus, grasshopper. Can you see that? So if you look around it, it is completely. Got to get back where you can see it. Completely even all the way around it. So I'm pretty sure that it's in alignment now because it's not touching anything. So now the trick is going to be to take this thing to the range and see, make sure it's shooting right, because I'm pretty sure the problem was me, not the suppressor, because these are good suppressors and it's a good rifle. I was kind of worried maybe the threads are off a little bit, but I put when I took this to my friend John's and Hog Holsters out in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, put his suppressor on it, it worked fine. So there we go. I'm pretty confident this is going to work. So let's go to the old range. We'll do some test firing and we'll wrap this up. So while I was testing the function of the silencer / suppressor, I thought I would try to give you a demonstration of the difference in sound. And it's really hard to do that sometimes with electronic microphones because they want to compensate. So I took the camera, set it up as far back as I could get under and still be under shelter, and went down to the other end of the ranges. I was lucky there was nobody else there, and tried to give you an example. Here's the example of what the differences are between silenced and non-silenced, or suppressed and non-suppressed, or whatever you want to say. So first of all, here is the non-suppressed. Okay, and here is the suppressed. One more time, non-suppressed and suppressed. I could tell a pretty big difference. So now let's carry on with the testing. Okay, so the range that I'm at, just because they have some people shooting stuff up that shouldn't be, you gotta get on paper in the bullseye at 25 and then 3 times at 50. I did that just to check, and now we're at 100. I forgot to bring my spotting scope, so hopefully I'll be able to see through here. But this thing was hitting about maybe inch and a quarter groups with a 168 grain. This is 180 grain. It's Remington core locked 180 grain. So we'll see how well it does. I got 2 rounds left in this mag, I believe, maybe 3. So 4 and 3, 7. Yes, I should have 3 left. So there's that, and the rest of these are going to be with the suppressor on. Hopefully you can tell the difference from that little demo I did, but we're going to try this without the ears on just for a minute and see what happens. Kind of high. Let me try again. And that was really with no hearing protection, and I don't have a ringing in my ears. Sounds even better with this on. Way, way, way high. One more to try, one more. So all 3 of those are about 6 or 8 inches high. Since I'm high, I'm going to try to go down just a little bit. One click is 1/4 MOA, so I should be able to go. So I went down 90 degrees. Let's see what happens. So I'm lower. I'm gonna keep fiddling with it just to show you. It's raining now. You gotta train in the rain. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. Somebody's shooting over there, but first of all, this is my 25-yard hits. I'm just trying to get on paper quickly. Went to 50 because that's what I had to do here. Then I took it out to 100. And I was aiming here at the 50, so I was a couple inches high. At 100, I was aiming here, and my first rounds were right up here. So I started lowering my scope. I lowered the adjustment on the scope 360 degrees before it was over. I never got them to come down. I think my scope is jacked now, so I got the can fixed, but I think the scope's jacked. These 2 here, I was aiming for here, and it was high, and it was high left. I started trying to move it right, I was aiming here. I moved it right too far, I think, and I got over here. So maybe my scope is as far as the adjustment will go on it. Went up, I don't know, but it's a Nikon scope. Nikon quit making gun scopes. Maybe there's a reason for that. So I got to see about getting a different scope. But as far as the silencer issue is resolved, so hopefully you can tell the difference between the non-silencer and the silencer shots that I did at the very beginning. And you can see on the last few shots I wasn't wearing ear protection and my ears aren't ringing. So I mean, it really does make a huge difference having a silencer or a suppressor or whatever you want to call it. Matter of fact, if that guy over there had one, he wouldn't be interrupting our video. Okay, well, I think I solved one problem and found another one, but as you can see, the suppressor itself, everything worked great. It didn't have any strikes or anything like that. I did, however, the scope here, it was shooting high. It was shooting high at 50. It was shooting really high at 100, and I literally dialed it down. So I should have changed it down a full 360 degrees. Every quarter click is 1 minute, and so that should have been. Let's just count clicks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that's 14 clicks to go 90 degrees on this thing. So 4 clicks should be an inch at 100. So that should have been 3 inches right there. So I moved it enough to where it should have moved it 12 inches, right? 3 times 4 is 12, right? It didn't seem to move it at all. So I don't know what's up with that. I got to figure that out, but that's a different story. Because like you may have seen, when I went to Arizona to visit my friend John, I was hitting steel at 875 yards with this rifle. Now, to be fair, that was kind of using Kentucky windage because he had a spotter and he was telling me, okay, up or down, up or down. And then I kind of looked at the scope and figured out where to hold it. So it could have been shooting high there too, but I don't think so because I was hitting dead on at like 100 yards there. So I don't know. I got to figure that out. This is a Nikon scope. Like I said, maybe that's why they quit making scopes. But anyway, I got a new friend out there at the Last American Outlaw who's a long-range shooter. You may have seen that video. So I'm gonna give him a call tomorrow and see if he can steer me in the right direction. It sounds like I might need a different scope. I don't know. Not real thrilled with this one anyway. So that being said, the alignment tool, which was so this is about a $5 or $6 alignment tool versus 80. It seemed to work pretty well. Now, to be clear, this is 7.5 millimeters. This is 7.62. So this one works with this. If you have a different caliber rifle, you might not be able to use an arrow. I don't know, but if you have a 30 caliber, like a 308 or 7.62, an AK or something like that, the 7.5 millimeter arrow should work pretty good for you. Carbon arrows, very, very straight, not any flex in there at all. So, and it's also a lot cheaper, and you can shoot them in a bow. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. I really appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. And if you'd like to support the channel, because I'm sure that YouTube is not going to put any ads on this sucker, because we got not just a gun, but an evil silencer on here. You can do that by going to patreon.com/survivalonpurpose. And if you want to find out the super secret benefits for doing so, because I can't tell you on here, go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. Get signed up for my weekly email newsletter. Every week I'll send you an email with links and stuff in it. And you'll learn about the super secret benefit to being a Patreon subscriber. So anyway, I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You are watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared and be quiet. I'll see you next time.